Ever notice how some dishes just, wow, they explode with flavor? It's not just the main bits, is it?
No, definitely not.
It's that amazing depth you get when someone really knows how to use herbs and spices.
Exactly, that extra layer.
So today we're digging deep into that, moving you beyond just salt and pepper to unlock that, culinary magic.
Absolutely. And we know you want to learn this stuff, but maybe without feeling like you're back in school, right?
Yeah, totally.
So think of this as your personal tour guide. We're using this really comprehensive chef's guide to build your confidence, help you experiment.
Right. Our mission is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Distill the key stuff about herbs, spices, flavor building from this guide. We'll cover the basics, the definitions, how to buy them, store them, use them fresh, dried, the whole deal. Loads of different flavor boosters, some familiar, maybe some new ones for you too.
And I'm here to kind of help connect the dots, give a bit more insight into why things work, maybe some interesting history, and how you can, use this stuff tonight in your kitchen.
Okay, perfect. Let's dive right in. Herbs and spices, what's the actual difference? Seems simple, but is it?
Well, yeah, there's a bit more to it. Botanically, an herb usually means the leafy part of an aromatic plant.
The green bits.
The green bits, yeah. And these plants generally grow in temperate climates. Think basil, mint, parsley.
Yeah.
That fresh green aroma.
Got it. The leaves. So spices then, what makes them different?
Spices, well, they come from other parts of the plant. Could be seeds, roots, bark, flowers, fruit, even resin sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And these plants are often from more tropical regions. So, cinnamon bark, clove buds, cumin seeds, that warm, earthy, pungent stuff. That's spice territory.
So herbs are kind of the fresh top notes and spices are the deeper base notes.
That's a great way to think about it. Yeah, herbs as accents, spices as the deeper foundation.
Cool. Now, the guide mentions other terms too, things you've seen in recipes all the time, like blends, condiments, extracts. What are those exactly?
Yeah. Right. Those are just different ways we use herbs and spices. A blend is, well, it's just a mix, isn't it? 2 or more herbs or spices combined.
Like curry powder?
Exactly. Or Italian seasoning. Sometimes they add salt, too. It's like a pre-mixed flavor team.
Okay. And condiments, how are they different?
Condiments usually take it a step further. They're often moist, maybe liquidy, with herbs and spices mixed in. And you typically add them at the table, right?
Oh, like mustard or hot sauce?
Precisely. Ketchup, relish, stuff to enhance the flavor that's already there.
And extracts?
Yeah.
Like vanilla extract?
Yep. That's a really concentrated flavor. They get it from things like vanilla beans, almonds, citrus, usually by pressing, soaking, or distilling. Gives you that intense burst, especially in baking.
Okay. Building a good vocabulary here. What about, let's see, infusions, marinades, oils, rubs, sprigs, and vinegar? That's a lot.
It is quite a list. But they all have their place. An infusion is basically steeping herbs or spices in a liquid, like oil or vinegar, to pull out their flavor.
Like making chili oil.
Exactly like that. A marinade uses a liquid, often acidic, like vinegar or citrus juice, plus flavorings, to both add flavor and tenderize food, especially meats.
Right, tenderizing is key there.
Definitely. Oils aren't just for cooking. They can carry flavor too, especially if you infuse them.
Yeah.
A rub is like a dry marinade, just spices, maybe dried herbs rubbed onto the food.
Like for barbecue.
Perfect example. A sprig is just a little branch of a fresh herb like rosemary or thyme. Good for garnish or gentle flavoring in a stock.
Okay.
And vinegar, well, the name literally means sour wine. It's acidic, made by fermentation, great for flavor preserving, and in dressings and marinades.
All right, terminology sorted now, actually using them. The guide talks about different cuts for fresh herbs. Why does chopping method matter? Does it really?
Oh, it really does. How you cut them seriously affects how much flavor, how much of those aromatic oils get released, and how fast.
Right.
When you break the cell walls by cutting, you're basically letting all that flavor loose.
So what's this chiffonade thing? Sounds fancy.
It does sound fancy. It's French, means like rags or crumpled. But for cooking, it's slicing leafy things like basil or mint really thinly.
How do you do that?
You stack the leaves, roll them up tight like a little cigar, then slice across the roll. Creates these lovely fine ribbons. And the key thing is it minimizes bruising on those delicate leaves. Bruising can actually make them taste kind of muddy or metallic.
Good tip. So that's for delicate stuff. What about tougher herbs like parsley or rosemary?
Yeah, those can handle a bit more rough and tumble. A good chop or a mince is fine, just rocking your knife. Their leaves are sturdier.
Right.
And for whole spices like nutmeg or fresh ginger, Definitely grating is the way to go. Releases that intense aroma right when you need it.
Makes sense. Now, this seems really important.
Yeah.
The guide highlights adding fresh herbs versus dried herbs at different times.
Absolute crucial distinction, yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh herbs, their flavor compounds, those volatile oils, they're delicate.
Mm.
Too much heat for too long and poof, the flavor's gone, or at least faded. So generally you add fresh herbs near the end of cooking.
Like a finishing touch.
Exactly. Whereas dried herbs, well, they've lost their moisture, so their flavors are concentrated but also kind of locked up. They need more time and usually some heat or fat to rehydrate and release those flavors. So you add dried herbs earlier on.
Okay, so dried herbs get a head start to wake up. Fresh herbs jump in at the finish line.
Precisely. Think of dried as building the foundation, fresh as adding the sparkle.
Love that. So how do we actually get the most flavor out? Any tricks for fresh versus dried?
Yeah, a few things. For fresh, you can use small leaves whole, give bigger leaves a chop, or even blitz them into a paste like pesto for maximum impact.
Okay.
For dried herbs, here's a simple but great tip. Just rub them between your fingers or palms before you add them.
Why does that help?
It just helps break down their structure a bit more, warms them slightly, and releases those trapped oils. It's like a little wake-up call for the flavor.
A little aromatic massage. I like it. Now, the guide mentions specific cutting for waxy versus delicate herbs. What's that about?
Right. So those tougher, sort of waxy or resinous herbs, think rosemary, thyme, sage, they can handle a bit more vigorous mincing. Their structure holds up.
Okay.
But the really tender ones, basil, chervil, cilantro, you want to be gentler.
Yeah.
Aim for clean, single cuts with a really sharp knife.
Why is that so important?
Because if you hack away or tear them too much, you cause bruising. And like we said with chiffonade, bruising releases enzymes that can create off flavors, sometimes grassy, sometimes metallic. Someone even described it as barnyardy.
Oof. Definitely want to avoid barnyard basil.
Okay.
And the best strategy for using dried herbs in the cooking process itself.
So because a lot of the flavor compounds in dried herbs are oil soluble, a really effective technique is to add them right at the beginning when you're sweating your aromatics like onions and garlic in oil or butter.
Bloom them in the fat.
Exactly. Let them sweat their flavor into the fat. It helps draw it out and infuse the whole dish. The main exception people mention is bay leaves.
Oh, what about bay leaves?
They're usually better added midway through cooking. If you cook them too long right from the start, they can sometimes make the dish taste a little bitter.
Good to know. Okay, that's a super useful tip. Right, let's get into the specific players. Basil, iconic. What are the key takeaways for basil?
Well, basil's amazing because it has such a range. You get those anise notes in some Asian types, then the sweet, almost grassy vibe from Mediterranean basil.
Right, Genovese basil for pesto.
Exactly. But the number one thing with most basil, it bruises so easily. So that chiffonade technique isn't just for show. It really preserves the flavor and stops it from going dark and sad looking. Treat it gently.
Got it. Handle with care. What about chervil? Sounds kind of fancy.
It is quite delicate. Chervil has this lovely, sweet, light anise flavor. Maybe a hint of parsley. Pairs beautifully with eggs, fish.
Yeah.
Delicate things.
And how best to use it?
Definitely use it fresh. Its flavor is so subtle, it just disappears if you cook it too long. And here's a pro tip. The stems are tasty, too. Chop them up with the leaves.
Nice, no waste. Chives next, those skinny green oniony things.
Yep. They give you a really mild, subtle garlic onion hit. Much gentler than, say, raw onion or garlic. Fantastic fresh garnish.
Best way to chop them.
Scissors. Just snip them. Clean kitchen scissors work perfectly. It avoids crushing them, keeps the flavor bright. Add them right at the end.
Cilantro. The great divider. Love it or hate it.
Huh. It really is, isn't it? For those who love it, it's got that vibrant, lemony, almost fruity flavor. Essential in so many Asian and Latin American dishes.
And the soapy thing?
Yeah, it's a real genetic thing for some people. They perceive aldehydes that taste like soap. Fascinating, really. But if you do like it, remember the stems and even the roots are packed with flavor. Don't throw them out, especially for things like curry pastes.
Good point. Dill. Makes me think of pickles and salmon.
Classic pairings. Dill has that fresh, grassy, slightly tangy, almost briny flavor. To keep it tasting really fresh, try not to chop it too much. Just slice across the fronds once or twice. Over chopping releases the oils too fast.
Okay, Mint. So refreshing, but also good and savory stuff.
Absolutely versatile. You get that characteristic sweet, cool, slightly tingly thing from the menthol. Spearmint's super common and easy to grow.
Lamb and mint sauce,
The
right?
classic. But the guide has a cool idea. A North African-style pesto with mint, pistachios, garlic, olive oil. Brilliant savory use.
Ooh, I like that. Tarragon. Always makes me think French cuisine.
Spot on. Tarragon's got that very unique flavor, kind of piney, anise, licorice, sweetness, all mixed together. Key and béarnaise sauce, lovely with chicken, fish.
Is there just one kind?
Mainly two, you'll see. French tarragon, which is more aromatic and refined, and Russian tarragon, which is heartier but maybe a bit less complex in flavor. French is usually preferred for cooking.
Okay. Sorrel. I don't use that one much. What's its deal?
Sorrel's interesting. It's got a really pronounced tart, tangy, almost lemony flavor. Pretty high in vitamin C, too. It's fantastic in chilled soups, or to add a sharp, bright note to sauces or salads. Worth trying if you see it.
Will do. Moving to some hardier herbs, bay leaves. They add something subtle, don't they?
They really do. It's a complex background note. Floral, sharp, slightly bitter, maybe a bit like oregano or thyme.
Yeah.
Essential for long simmers, stews, stocks, sauces.
And the ancient Greek thing.
Yeah, fun fact, bay laurel wreaths were for victors, hence poet laureate. In cooking, they're key in a bouquet garni or sachet d'épices, those little flavor bundles. An interesting note, fresh bay leaves are milder than dried, and bruising them slightly helps release their flavor.
Lemongrass. That amazing smell in Thai food.
Oh yeah, intense citrus, floral, fruity. Use the pale bottom part of the stalk, and the key is you have to bruise it or crush it, bash it with the back of a knife, or use a pestle to release those oils.
Essential for Thai cooking.
Absolutely, it's part of their holy trinity with galangal and kaffir lime. And bonus, apparently mosquitoes don't like it.
Huh. Good to know. Oregano. Mediterranean staple, but also Mexican. Are they different?
They can be, yeah. Oregano generally is warm, savory, pungent, a bit bitter. We think of it in Greek and Italian food, pizza, pasta sauce.
Right.
Dried is really common there. Fresh is great in dressings. But yeah, Mexican oregano is actually a different plant species, often a bit more citrusy or floral, maybe less sharp than Mediterranean types.
Parsley. Seems like the workhorse herb. Always there.
It is incredibly versatile. Fresh, grassy, slightly bitter, clean taste. Flat leaf Italian parsley generally has more flavor than the curly kind, which is often just garnish.
Use it early or late.
Unlike most fresh herbs, parsley holds up pretty well to some cooking, so you can add it earlier in long-cooked dishes. And don't toss the stems. They're full of flavor, perfect for stocks or tying into a bouquet garni.
Rosemary. That pine smell is unmistakable.
Totally. Strong, piney, resinous, maybe a hint of camphor or nutmeg. Amazing with roast lamb, chicken, potatoes. It's also an herb de Provence. And dried rosemary holds its flavor surprisingly well compared to some other dried herbs.
Sage. I always think Thanksgiving stuffing.
Classic association. Sage has a warm, kind of oniony, slightly bitter, earthy flavor. Dried sage, especially rubbed sage, is quite strong, so use it carefully. But yeah, key in poultry seasoning.
And last herb. Thyme. So many kinds.
There really are. Thyme's generally warm, savory, earthy, sometimes a hint of mint or caraway. You get English thyme with straight stems, easy to strip the leaves. French thyme is often more delicate, better bundled.
And lemon thyme.
Yeah, and lemon thyme is fantastic. Adds that bright citrus note. Wild thyme, creeping thyme. Lots of subtle variations.
Wow, okay, that's the herb garden covered. Let's switch to spices. Allspice. Sounds like a cheat code.
Huh. It kind of is. It tastes like a mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, maybe even pepper and juniper, all in one little berry.
So if you run out,
Yeah, the guide says you can fake it pretty well with equal parts ground cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. Good trick to know.
aniseed. That licorice flavor.
Yep, strong licorice, used in sweets, savory dishes, liqueurs, and traditionally thought to be good for digestion.
Annatto. I see this for color sometimes.
That's often its main job. It gives that vibrant yellow-orange color, especially in Latin American or Caribbean food. The flavor's mild, a bit peppery. You usually sizzle the seeds in oil or soak them to get the color and flavor out.
That's a fetida. That one smells strong.
Oh, it does raw. It's a resin, smells really pungent, garlicky, sulfurous, but the magic happens when you cook it.
It changes.
Completely. That strong smell mellows right down, and it gives this amazing savory umami flavor, like cooked onions and garlic, crucial in a lot of Indian cooking, especially vegetarian dishes.
Fascinating. Capers. Those little salty bombs.
Great description. Pickled flower buds, Piquant, salty, savory, lemony burst. The tiny nonpareil ones are best added late. The bigger caper berries are the fruit, good as a garnish.
Caraway, rye bread spice.
Definitely. Warm, citrusy, bit peppery, maybe the leathery note. Supposedly one of the oldest European spices. And corned beef, too.
Cardamom, so aromatic. Green versus black, big difference.
Oh yeah, big difference. Both are fragrant, complex, fruity, camphorous, floral, but green cardamom is brighter, sweeter, more aromatic. Think desserts, chai, lighter dishes.
And the black.
Black cardamom is bigger, darker, and has this intense, smoky, savory, almost medicinal vibe. Much better suited for hearty stews, meaty curries, more robust dishes.
Cayenne, just pure heat.
Pretty much. Dried chili pepper powder, tart, pungent, fiery heat, subtle fruitiness underneath, maybe. It's the kick in the master cleanse, apparently, and used fresh in some curries, too.
Celery seed, don't use it much. What's it like?
It's like concentrated celery. Grassy, herbaceous, very celery. Potent stuff, though. Use it sparingly or it can get a bit bitter. Good in pickles, some salads, stews.
Cinnamon, warm, sweet, woody, comfort spice.
Totally. It's tree bark, right? That classic flavor, often confused with cassia, which is similar but maybe a bit stronger, less subtle. Most recipes don't distinguish much.
Clove, super intense. Any unusual uses?
Very pungent, sweet, peppery. Beyond cooking, yeah, it's famous for numbing toothaches because of the eugenol. And it's the key flavor in those Indonesian kretek cigarettes.
Crushed red pepper flakes, pizza topping staple.
Yeah. Usually a mix of dried chilies gives you heat, plus some fruity, citrusy notes. Super versatile pizza, pasta, rubs, marinades. Adds a nice kick.
Cumin. Seems like it's in everything globally.
It's incredibly popular, second only to black pepper worldwide, apparently. Warm, earthy, nutty, sharp flavor. Foundational in Middle Eastern, Indian, North African, Latin American food. And toasting it first really changes and deepens the flavor.
Fennel seeds, that gentle anise flavor.
Right, like licorice, but sweeter, more aromatic than aniseed. It's in Chinese five-spice. And in India, they chew it after meals as a digestive and breath freshener.
Galangal. Looks like ginger, but isn't.
Related, but different taste. Ginger's warm and citrusy spicy. Galangal is more peppery, piney, almost mustardy, essential in that Thai holy trinity with lemongrass and kaffir lime.
Garlic. Can't cook without it, right?
Pretty much essential. Raw is pungent, spicy. Roasted, it turns sweet, nutty, creamy. And chopping it more releases more of that pungent allicin compound, which then mellows with heat. Amazing transformation.
Ginger. Also super versatile, sweet and savory.
Exactly. Warm, woody, pungent, but also bright and citrusy.
Right.
Dried, pickled, candied. So many forms, so many uses.
Juniper berries, gin flavor. What else?
Yep, main flavor in gin. Piney, resinous, bit peppery, slightly sweet. Also used with game meats, in sauerkraut, some European dishes. And technically they're seed cones, not berries.
Kaffir lime. That incredible fragrance.
Well, it's amazing. Intensely citrusy, zesty, but also floral, almost vanilla-like undertones. You use the leaves, which are uniquely shaped, and the zest or juice from the bumpy fruit. Key in Thai and Vietnamese food.
Mustard. Seeds, powder prepared. Lots of options.
Loads. Yellow, brown, black seeds, different heat levels. Pungent, bittersweet. Used whole in pickling, ground into powder, or mixed with liquids and other spices to make all the different prepared mustards we know.
Nutmeg. Warm, sweet, but easy to overdo.
Definitely potent. Warm, sweet, aromatic, piney, bit peppery. Always best grated fresh from the whole nutmeg. The flavor's so much better, but yeah, little goes a long way, especially in savory dishes.
Paprika. Can be sweet, smoky, hot.
Huge range. Ground dried peppers. Hungarian is often sweet and vibrant. Spanish pimenton can be sweet, bittersweet, or smoked over wood, which gives it that amazing smoky depth. And some paprika is quite hot, depends on the peppers used.
Peppercorns. More complex than just black pepper, right?
Oh, absolutely. Black, white, and green peppercorns all come from the same plant, just picked and processed differently. Black is pungent and hot. White is earthier, milder heat. Green is fresh, almost fruity.
And pink peppercorns.
Totally different plant. They're related to cashews, actually. Mildly sweet, fruity, peppery flavor. And always grind any pepper fresh right before using, ideally at the end of cooking. Heat kills those volatile oil.
Saffron.
Yeah.
A pricey one. What's the flavor like?
It's unique. Bold, musky, slightly sweet, hints of honey and earth, and that incredible golden color it gives. It's the stigmas of a crocus flower, hand-picked, which is why it's so expensive. Takes thousands of flowers for a tiny amount.
Sesame seeds. Nutty flavor.
Exactly. Earthy, nutty, especially when toasted. Black sesame seeds are a bit more intense, slightly bitter, look great as garnish. And sesame oil, toasted or untoasted, is huge in Asian cooking.
Star anise. Looks cool, tastes like
Pretty
licorice.
much. Strong, warm, sweet licorice flavor, maybe woodier than aniseed. It's one of the key ingredients in Chinese five-spice. Also has some interesting antiviral properties, apparently.
Szechuan pepper. The one that makes your mouth tingle.
That's the one, not actually pepper. Creates that unique mala, spicy and numbing, tingling sensation. Plus, complex citrusy woody notes. It's not MSG doing that, it's the peppercorn itself.
Turmeric. That bright yellow color. Good for you.
Yeah, known for being anti-inflammatory. Comes from a root related to ginger. The flavor is relatively mild, earthy, slightly bitter, hints of ginger or orange. The color is maybe its most defining feature in cooking, but its health buzz is huge now.
And finally, vanilla. Sweet, floral.
Classic comfort aroma
Yeah.
from an orchid pod. Complex, sweet, floral, notes of molasses, wood, fruit. Use the whole bean, scrape the seeds, or use extract or paste. So versatile in sweet cooking.
Ooh, that's an amazing tour of the spice rack. Now, how about putting them together? Blends and bundles, adobo, baharat, berberi. It sounds like global travel.
It really is. These blends are like flavor shortcuts to different cuisines. Adobo is often a basic seasoned salt, garlic, onion, pepper used widely in Latin America. Bahara is Middle Eastern fragrant mix like pepper, coriander, cumin, cloves, cardamom. Varies by region. Berber is Ethiopian fiery, complex chilies, fenugreek, ginger, lots more.
And those bundles, bouquet garnis, sachet d'épices.
Right, those are more about gentle infusion. Fresh herbs, maybe some whole spices tied together. You simmer them in stocks or stews, then pull them out. Bouquet garni is classic French parsley stems, thyme, bay leaf. Sachet de pieces might add peppercorns, cloves, tied in cheesecloth.
What about some big, bold blends? Cajun seafood boil, Chinese five-spice, curry powder.
Yeah, Cajun boil mix is potent allspice, bay, cayenne, mustard seed for flavoring big pots of shellfish. Chinese five-spice, we mentioned star anise, cinnamon, fennel, Sichuan pepper, cloves aiming for that balance of 5 tastes, and curry powder. That's a whole story.
It's not just one thing.
Not really, no. It's more of a Western concept based on Indian spice mixes called masalas. Curry powders vary hugely. Usually have chilies, coriander, cumin, turmeric, fenugreek, ginger, mustard seed, but the proportions change everything.
The guide mentions Madras curry powder specifically.
Right, so masala is the Indian term for a blend. During British rule, they encountered blends from the Madras region, liked them, and started marketing a version back west called Madras curry powder. Often a bit hotter, it became really popular. A fascinating bit of food history, that blend.
Interesting. Then you have the French herb blends, more delicate, fines herbs, herbe de Provence.
Exactly. Fines herbs is super delicate, finely chopped fresh parsley, chives, tarragon, chervil, added right at the end, very light flavor. Herbes de Provence is from southern France, usually dried herbs, basil, fennel, marjoram, rosemary, sage, thyme, sometimes lavender, more robust.
And other regional stars.
Yeah.
Jamaican jerk, pesto, poultry seasoning.
Yep. Jamaican jerk is that amazing, spicy, aromatic marinade or rub Scotch bonnets, allspice, thyme, scallions, incredible flavor. Pesto is traditionally basil, garlic, pine nuts, Parmesan, olive oil, but now you see tons of variations. Poultry seasoning is that classic savory mix, usually heavy on the sage and thyme, perfect for chicken or turkey.
In blends for specific dishes. Pumpkin pie spice, garam masala.
Totally. Pumpkin pie spice is just that perfect warming mix. Cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg for pies, lattes, everything fall. Garam masala is Indian, very aromatic, often cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, pepper, mace. Usually added near the end of cooking for fragrance and warmth, unlike some other masalas added earlier.
The guide also mentions the Thai Holy Trinity. Sounds fundamental.
It really is for Thai food.
Oh.
Lemongrass, kaffir lime, usually the leaves or zest, and galangal. That aromatic base gets pounded together, often with chilies and other things, to make their incredible curry paste. Then you fry the paste to bloom the flavors before adding coconut milk, etc.
And Japanese curry. It's different, right?
Very different. Often starts with a curry powder base, yes, but the key difference is they usually thicken it with a roux-cooked flour and butter. That gives it that distinct, thick, glossy, often milder and slightly sweeter sauce compared to Indian or Thai curries.
This is so great. Understanding the why behind the blends. Now, salt. So basic, but so crucial. The guide says it does more than just make things salty.
Oh, absolutely. Salt is a powerhouse. 3 main jobs. Preservation, think curing or pickling. Flavor enhancement, it literally makes other flavors pop, makes them taste more like themselves.
Right. Makes the tomato taste more tomatoey.
Exactly. And third, it can help protect color and nutrients, especially in things like blanching green vegetables.
And there's a difference between cooking salt and finishing salt.
Yeah, definitely. Cooking salt, regular table salt, kosher salt is usually mined. Pretty straightforward, salty taste, inexpensive. Good for seasoning during cooking.
And finishing salt, like flaky sea salt.
Precisely. Often sea salt, or from specific mines, can have different textures, flakes, pyramids, and sometimes subtle mineral flavors, more expensive. You sprinkle it on at the end for that final burst of saltiness and a nice textural crunch.
The guide says pro chefs don't just use salt to make food salty. What's the goal?
That's such a key point. The goal is usually balance and intensifying the food's natural flavors, using just enough salt to make everything else taste better, more vibrant.
But obviously, too much salt isn't great for health.
Right, we need to be mindful of intake for cardiovascular health. But the guide suggests ways to maximize flavor without over-relying on salt.
Like concentrating flavors or using contrast.
Exactly. Reducing sauces to concentrate their natural taste means you might need less salt. And adding a hit of acidity, lemon juice, vinegar right at the end can brighten everything up, making it taste well seasoned with less actual salt. Contrast is key.
Smart strategies. Okay, let's wrap up with some really practical, everyday tips, getting the most bang for our buck from herbs and spices.
Okay, number one, buy in appropriate amounts, especially ground spices. They lose their punch after maybe a year, sometimes less.
So don't buy the giant economy size.
Probably not unless you cook huge volumes. Whole spices last longer, maybe 2 to 5 years. Dried herbs fade even faster, maybe 6 months to a year. Buy smaller amounts more often for freshness.
And storage. Best practices.
Airtight containers. Away from heat, light, moisture. A cool, dark cupboard is ideal. Same for whole spices. Fresh herbs. Refrigerator. Maybe wrap loosely in a damp paper towel in a bag or in their clamshell. Use within a week or so. Chilies last a couple of weeks in the fridge, too.
What if you have way too many fresh herbs from the garden? How to save them?
Freezing is great. Chop them, freeze in ice cube trays with water or oil, blanch leafy greens like parsley, then freeze flat in bags. Or make pesto or herb butter and freeze that. Lots of options.
Making infused oils or vinegars. Easy.
Yeah, pretty easy and so good. Robust herbs like rosemary. Just pop sprigs in oil or vinegar in the fridge for a couple of weeks. Delicate herbs like basil, maybe blend them with the oil first.
Yeah.
You can warm dried spices gently in oil too to infuse.
Can we dry our own herbs?
Totally. Hang bunches upside down in a dry, dark, airy place. Or use a microwave carefully between paper towels. Low oven with the door ajar works. Or a dehydrator if you have one.
Great ideas. Any other quick tips for everyday cooking?
Let's see. Doubling recipes. Don't automatically double the spices. Taste and adjust. Dried herbs need more time. Add them early. Maybe soak them first. Remember the 3.1 ratio? Use about 13 the amount of dried herbs compared to fresh.
Okay.
Pay attention to 1 cup chopped basil versus 1 cup basil chopped. Different amounts. Keep extracts tightly sealed. Bruise dried herbs or tough fresh ones like lemongrass. Grind whole spices fresh if you can. Huge flavor difference. No vinegar. Lemon or lime juice often works.
And chili powders, they're not all the same, right?
Definitely not. Cayenne is just ground hot chilies. Paprika varies hugely sweet, hot, smoked. Chili powder itself is a blend chilies plus cumin, oregano, garlic powder, etc. Crushed red pepper is mixed flakes. Smoked chilies like chipotle or pimenton add smokiness. Knowing the difference helps you control heat and flavor.
And the guide even gives marinade recipes and basic growing tips.
Yep. Sample marinades for different meats and veggies, highlighting good herb-spice pairings, reminders about marinating times and food safety, plus simple tips on soil light and starting herbs from seed or transplants if you want to grow your own.
And it finishes with those coaxing the essence techniques.
Right. Summing up the best ways to get flavor out. Crushing, rubbing dried herbs, bruising tough, fresh ones, toasting whole spices, sweating dried spices in fat, blooming ground spices in liquid, and that cool Indian technique, chonk or targa, sizzling whole spices in hot oil right at the end and pouring it over the dish. Instant aroma burst.
Wow. This has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I've learned so much, had those aha moments. Definitely feel more confident about, layering flavors and experimenting now.
That's fantastic. That's the whole idea, giving you that solid base to explore all those amazing global flavors and really elevate your own cooking.
So here's something to think about. Just toasting a spice, that simple act, how it completely changes it, right? Brings out nutty notes. What other little techniques, maybe things we didn't even cover deeply, could unlock even more flavor in your kitchen?
Yeah, that's a great question to ponder.
We really hope you'll take maybe one new herb or spice blend we talked about and just try it out this week. See what delicious things happen.